How do you let go of people who obviously don't want to be around you anymore? Decide to let go of them, and then remind yourself of that decision. It isn't easy, but the habit does build eventually. I wonder what they're up to. Oh. No. Wait. I've let them go. Your brain will start to believe you eventually. Yes, and I find that allowing yourself to mourn the friendship helps too. It's a type of breakup. But for some reason it's less talked about in society. Yes. One of the worst griefs I've experienced in my life was the ending of a treasured friendship. Actually allow yourself to grieve for the friendship. The parts of your life you are losing. The future you and your friend no longer have. Etc. Sure. There's always a chance you can rekindle your friendship in the future. But reaching a place of acceptance over the loss for now is important. Losing friends happens. Be kind to yourself through the process. There will be other friends. As a 66-year-old woman, I can assure you life is too short to spend an ounce of energy on people like this. Direct it to something that brings you pleasure. Get out of the house for a walk. Take a remote class. Call an old friend. Foster a cat. Bake some brownies to leave with a neighbor. Give it some time, but if you still can't let it go, see a therapist to talk it out. You'll find your way. It's so great when this perspective comes naturally with age. You don't want my cooking? By then, easy peasy. As you age, the amount of things you stop giving AF about only to realize that you didn't need to give them the attention in the first place is amazing. The best thing someone ever told me is don't treat someone like a priority when they treat you like an option. People will come into your life for reasons, seasons and lifetimes. When you figure out which it is, you will know exactly what to do. Feels like I am always an option. I know the feeling, it sucks. Kinda dealing with this myself RN. I find myself still wanting to message them, offer support and generally just be there for them. I keep having to stop myself. You just gotta take time and try to step back. Even if you don't want to. That's what works for me. When you stop reaching to them first and see that it has no effect on them, then you realize that what you did was right and you have no value in their life. There are other people who want to meet someone exactly like you. You'll find them soon. If they don't want to be around you anymore, respect yourself and create some distance between yourself and them. The world is a big place and life is too short, especially in the middle of a global pandemic, to keep the company of those who don't appreciate what you have to offer the world. Yeah. Also, why would you want to be around people who don't want to be around you? 'Cause sometimes the people used to want to be around you and you've grown close to them. That and lots of people don't have many friends at all. So losing one is a pretty big deal. Slowly stop being around them. The best way, I think, is to find another group of people who you feel comfortable around. And then you can start surrounding yourself with them. Over time you can spend more time together. And start lessening the time with the people who don't want to be around you. You can do the same with yourself if you don't want a new group of people. You can start having more me time. And slowly transition to always spending time alone, if you don't mind being alone. And try your best to stop contacting them as much. If it's evident they don't want to be around you, you're only hurting yourself by putting yourself with them. If that makes sense. If everyone moves on without you checking in, then the truth is they don't really need you there. How can you effectively put that distance though? We're in the same club/group chat, and I can't stop stalking the conversations they have or the events they're going to. Which I won't be a part of because that person will be here, and it would be stress-inducing. I also can't block/delete them from social media, because they'd probably notice, and that would be weird since there was no big fight or anything. Just slowly drifting apart. They might even put me on the spot and confront me about it, which would be awkward AF. Do you actively participate in the group chat still? And if so, do they respond? Or do they ignore you? I completely get what you mean, by the way. It's tempting to see what you're missing out on, I guess FOMO. I would definitely advise against leaving on bad terms. Blocking or deleting them from social media is a way to leave on bad terms. Since the issue is drifting apart, there's no need to create a conflict. I'm sure that would be super stressful too. You also mentioned that you wouldn't hang out because somewhere will make you feel stressed. For this, figuring out why the person is stress-inducing can help. You can either choose to overcome it and go anyways, and distance yourself, or avoid going at all as you've been doing. Not sure what the best solution is, but whatever you're most comfortable with is best. If it's only one person though, then maybe you could try going and avoid them. Also, if reading the messages hurts you or puts you down, then try your best to stop. You can mute the conversation or take a detox from the app. It will be incredibly difficult to remove yourself if you keep coming back. Don't worry too much about it though. If the group really is drifting apart, it's likely that you're not the only one. Spend more time alone, or with family and other friends. And take time to think about what you really want and what will make you more content. If you need an excuse to take time, the excuse of prioritizing your needs is a good and valid explanation. Just let them go. Whatever is going on in their heads isn't your responsibility. Yes, it's painful, and you may never know their reason. Happened to me with some best friends. They just ghosted me at a time when I was going through some personal crises. They were people who always called me when they needed me, but I guess I stopped being useful/needed. So they weren't real friends after all. Yes, it hurts and you may think it's so unfair. But once you let go of them completely, you'll find your peace. If you found yourself in the position of letting them go, doesn't that mean they were to leave one day or other? Can you give me some advice on how to let go? One of my best friends told me that she doesn't want to have any contact with me whatsoever, and it's killing me. It's been weeks now and I constantly think about her. I have so much anger inside and want to confront her, but I know I just have to accept it. But how do you do that? Find hobby or new friends to invest time until you don't think about them as much/stop caring. This is excellent advice. I shared a hobby with someone who I felt was a very good friend. And some very wild stuff happened. Both my friendship ended and my involvement in the hobby ceased abruptly. It was like a breakup. Therapy helped a lot. But now I've got new interests that I'm fostering. I'm picking up a DSLR camera this week and hope to start astrophotography. I've been batting this hobby idea around for months and have become closer to other friends with this similar interest. I just accept it. But depending on the situation, I am willing to let them in again when they are open for it again. People who isolates themselves because of depression or got other issues because of life, I am open to let them in again when they are ready. But people who tells you they got cooler people to hang with and treats you like air and freezes you out, I flat out ignore those people. I guess if you are around age of 16, it can hurt that more for some people where friendship feels like the world. Just accept it even if it can be hurting or frustrating. There are other people out there. And or if you are one of those lucky people, you also got a good family who watches over you with care and love. Keep telling yourself don't think about them and that you deserve better. Then you'll let go. Respect their choice and move on. Don't take it personally and get lost in it. It may be painful in the start, but you want to be with people that honestly want to be with you. But what if the reason they don't want to be with you anymore is personal and it's because of you? If one person decides to leave you unnoticed, it's nothing personal. If a lot of people in your life decide to leave you, then it might be time to start reflecting on yourself. Either way, respecting their choice is the best action to do. Just peace out. Walk away mentally and emotionally before you walk away physically. And then, don't turn around. Ace of Base doesn't turn around. Be like Ace of Base. They'll probably run back for you. But don't let them turn your head. Keep going. Keep that door closed. It's more humane. My best advice is knowing your self-worth and focusing on yourself. I went through a rough patch this last year with someone not wanting me in their life anymore because of a breakup. The best thing I did for myself was delete my social media and take time for myself. Doing things I enjoyed. Rather than sit around waiting for a change. I started to paint, do yoga, and go back to church, which I really enjoyed. I also changed my diet completely and started working out. I improved myself because I didn't want him to think I was devastated and dependent on him. I was devastated, but I didn't want to give him that satisfaction. Doing the things you enjoy will allow you to focus on that and start to forget. That helped me with letting go of my wish to be with him. I hope you're doing well. Focus on yourself. Don't let anyone question your self-worth. You say you did what you liked, but contradictorily. You were only doing those things so that the second person couldn't feel satisfied. I don't get this. From someone who has recently got out of a toxic friend group. It's better to detach yourself slowly. I started focusing on self-love and simultaneously taught myself to let go. Today, I'm in a better place with better people who value me. But it all started with me being my own best friend. It can be a little hard. But it all gets better along the way. It depends. Some people fall on hard times. Illness. Stress. Have kids. Etc. And are generally too busy to keep up with friends. I just give them their space and wish them luck. Other people develop weird issues with some part of my lifestyle. Get jealous because I'm doing well in school. Or we grow apart. As long as they're civil and keep my name out of their mouth. Then I just give them their space and wish them luck. One day they might grow up and come around. And since they didn't try to do any damage, then no harm. No foul. Lastly, there are people who are two-faced S-lords who try and spread bad news about me. Make up lies and rumors. And try to get my good friends to go against me. I just give them their space and wish them luck. They're going to need it. So, in other words, I don't give two damns. The people who matter in my life know who I am and where I stand on things. The people who could matter in my life always have the door open to them. The people who don't matter at all in my life just don't matter. So true about the jealousy. I've lost friends after I started doing well. Got a BF. Did more traveling or got a new job. They ghost me or flake out on outings. It makes me feel like I'm not allowed to accomplish anything because it might upset someone. I just leave, and if they don't ask me to come back after all I've done for them, I just keep on going. We accept the love we think we deserve. Accept the love you deserve. Don't settle for any less. Surround yourself with people who enjoy you and your company. I just let them and don't bother contacting them in any way. There's no contract. I'll be fine. Every minute you spend with them is a minute you could have spent on yourself, or with someone who does want to be with you. People fall in and out of love in both romantic and platonic relationships. It's natural and it's fine. Have you ever watched curling? It's like that. Just let him go. And someone else gets to sweep. I'm a male nurse, and my best friend of 5 years was a woman I had worked closely with for 5 years. I deal with bipolar depression, had my issues, and had quite a few lows. Wasn't on the right meds yet. I used to confide in her and tell her everything. One day I make an attempt using OD and end up in a psych hospital, and this girl the same day texts my wife, they were good friends, and told her I was such a burden on her and made her feel terrible. When I was told that, I knew I had to move on. So I completely disassociated from her and her other friend there. Didn't speak to her or look in her direction. Got a new job with a nice pay raise and have been doing great mentally and career-wise. Sometimes just cutting them off and moving on is best. You actually know that they don't want to be around you? Or you just assume? Keep in mind, these are very different situations. How can I tell which it is? I've asked them once. For that day I seemed to be their best friend again all of a sudden. What if they seriously obviously avoid me, but every time I do get to talk to them they tell me how they'd like to meet more often? Do stuff together and miss our past together, but then go back to ghosting me and don't answer my calls for months unless I call from an unknown number? There's no right answer here, mate. At least none that I can think of. Maybe they have personal problems. People deal with stress differently. Or you are right, and they don't want to be friends with you anymore. In that case, there's not much you can do. Just in case it's the latter, I would try and find out if it was because of something I did. In case it is, it might prevent you from alienating more people. But hey, this is the internet. I might be wrong. Take this with a grain of salt. Appreciate the space they are making for someone who does. All things are transient, including relationships. I just do. If people don't enjoy my company, then how can I possibly enjoy theirs? Step back. Unfollow/mute so you're not reminded of them every few seconds. And tell yourself every time you need it that every minute you spend wanting to be around them is doing yourself a disservice. Create a separation between the idealized image of the friendship in your head and reality. Often when we struggle to let go of someone, it's not actually the person we're clinging to, but the fantasy of what we want them to be. Your worth is intrinsic. It isn't tied to a proverbial goalpost positioned by someone outside yourself. Give yourself permission to feel the good things about yourself that you are trying to derive from this person. People who are not invested in you are not a good use of your time, energy, love, and effort. You deserve mutually fulfilling relationships that you don't have to beg for. Also, use this time to take an interest in yourself. Focus on you. Figure out what you want outside of the scope of anyone else. Honor those desires. Letting go is a good time to do this.